The story begins with a house that looked like everything people dream of. A neat suburban home in a quiet American neighborhood. Sunlight glinting off freshly trimmed hedges, a white picket fence, and the sound of children's laughter spilling out into the yard. On the surface, it was perfect. Picture perfect. The kind of life you'd expect to see on holiday cards or in glossy magazines. Inside the home, the walls were covered in smiling photographs, birthdays with cake-smeared faces, Christmas mornings wrapped in laughter and paper, vacations where the ocean seemed endless and their love seemed unshakable. To anyone who passed by, Rachel and David had it all. Stability, comfort, a love story that people envied. But pictures only show smiles. They don't capture silence. They don't capture the nights Rachel sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at the clock, wondering why her husband was late again. They don't capture the gnawing ache in her chest when she rolled over in bed to find his side cold, empty, untouched until long past midnight. Rachel had always believed in love. She remembered the first day she met David so clearly. It felt like yesterday. A crowded cafe, the smell of fresh coffee in the air, her books slipping from her hands. And there he was, catching them before they hit the ground. He smiled, made a joke that made her laugh louder than she meant to, and in that moment something inside her whispered, "This is him. This is the man." And for years that's exactly who he was. David adored her. He left sticky notes on her bathroom mirror with silly doodles. He held her hand during long drives, even when the radio was off, and there was nothing to fill the silence but their laughter. He made her feel seen, chosen, loved. But love, as Rachel would learn, can fade quietly, not like a storm, but like a slow leak you don't notice until the damage is too deep. At first, it was easy to explain. David was tired from work. He was chasing deadlines. He was stressed. She told herself every couple goes through phases. Every marriage has its silence. But the silence stretched longer, the excuses piled higher, and soon Rachel wasn't sure if she was married to a man, or to a ghost who lived in her home but no longer lived in her heart. She noticed the changes, though she tried not to. The way he angled his phone away when it buzzed, the way his smile seemed brighter for messages he wouldn't share. The scent of perfume, faint but undeniable, that didn't belong to her. She buried her suspicions beneath trust, reminding herself, "He loves me. He chose me. He would never." But at night, when she lay awake, she couldn't silence the other voice, the one whispering, "Something is wrong. Something is breaking." One evening, she set the table for two. A special dinner, candles flickering, music playing softly. She wanted to remind him of them. Of the nights they used to laugh until their sides ached. But when David walked in, hours late, tie undone and shirt wrinkled, his eyes widened with something that looked like guilt before quickly settling into a practiced smile. "Rough day," he muttered. Rachel forced her lips into a smile, nodding, but inside, she felt the fracture deepen. Then came the letter. A small piece of paper folded carelessly in his jacket pocket. She hadn't been searching for secrets, just cleaning up the way wives often do. But when she unfolded it, her knees nearly gave out. His handwriting stared back at her, the words shaking her soul. "I can't keep pretending. The pressure, the lies. I feel like I'm living two lives. Two lives." The paper shook in her hands as tears blurred the ink. Pretending, lies, another life. Her world tilted, everything inside her crashing in silence. And suddenly, all the late nights, all the excuses, all the smiles that didn't reach his eyes, it all made sense. From that moment, Rachel saw everything differently. Every buzz of his phone was a knife. Every late meeting was a wound. Every kiss on the cheek felt hollow. She tried to act normal, but her world had already changed. She was living beside a stranger wearing her husband's face. It was the phone that gave her undeniable proof. One night while he showered, the screen lit up. A name she didn't recognize. Words that once belonged to her. "I miss you." "Can't wait to see you again." Her chest constricted. She scrolled. There it was. Message after message. Affection, promises, words of intimacy. Rachel dropped the phone as though it burned her skin. When David walked out minutes later, towel around his waist, he smiled as though everything was fine. Kissed her forehead, sat down beside her. Rachel stared at him, broken. wondering how a man could live with so many lies pouring from his heart. The days that followed blurred together. She went through the motions, her body present but her heart shattered. The hardest part wasn't even the betrayal itself. It was the realization that the man she once trusted with her soul had looked her in the eyes, kissed her, and lied, over and over again. That he had taken the love she poured into him and given it to someone else. Rachel replayed their past in her head constantly. Their wedding day, his vows. The way he whispered, "It's you. It will always be you." How could those words come from the same man who now said the same things to another? Every memory became a blade, cutting deeper. And then, one evening, she couldn't hold it in anymore. The children were asleep upstairs, the house quiet except for the ticking clock. Rachel looked across the dinner table at him. His face was familiar, but it no longer felt like home. With a trembling voice, she asked, "Who are you when I'm not around?" The fork froze in his hand. His eyes flickered with panic. And in that silence, she saw it. She saw the truth. He knew she knew. The mask fell, if only for a second. What followed was chaos wrapped in whispers. David stammered through excuses, apologies, pleas. He begged her to understand, begged her to think of their family, their children. He swore it was meaningless, swore he'd end it, swore he could change. His words tumbled out desperate, hollow. But Rachel sat still, silent tears streaming down her face. Because she realized something that night. Trust isn't broken with shouting. It isn't shattered with a fight. It dies quietly, through the lies, the avoidance, the betrayal that builds one crack at a time until it finally collapses. She didn't scream. She didn't throw the plates or slam the door. Instead, she whispered the truth. "You've broken something I don't know how to fix." In that moment, David's face crumbled. He reached for her hand, but she pulled it back. Because love may forgive mistakes, but betrayal is something else entirely. Betrayal rewrites the story you thought you were living. It makes you question every memory, every smile, every "I love you." Was it real? Or was it all just a beautiful lie? The story doesn't end with neat answers. Rachel doesn't know yet if she will forgive. She doesn't know if she will stay or leave. But she knows one thing. She will never see him the same way again. Trust, once shattered, can never return to what it was. It becomes something different. Fragile, scarred, uncertain. And so, the story leaves us here, with a question only you can answer. If you discovered the person you loved most had betrayed you, would you fight to rebuild? Or would you walk away knowing that sometimes love is not enough to survive betrayal? Because sometimes the cruelest lies are not the ones spoken aloud. They are the ones we choose to believe even when deep down, we already know the truth.